Hi guys, it's Becky, and I'm going to be working on my next project for my September chain challenge. And if you're new to my channel and you haven't heard about it, for the entire month of September, I'm making 2 beaded chain necklaces a week. So far, I've been doing pretty good at this. This will be my first one for this week. And I wanted to use a bead box that I never made anything out of. Like one of my old past boxes that I organized it, I put it on a shelf, and then I forgot all about it. And I decided to pull out this, I think it was Modern Farmhouse was the theme, Bargain Bead Box that I had gotten. I'd organized it. This was before I was posting my organizings online and doing all that. But it was a really cool box. We had a lot of black and white and gray colors. There's some spacers. These hishis are coconut, I believe, not wood. That we had some of those. There was some gemstones. And then I got 2 packets of these links, so we're probably going to be using those in our video. And their gunmetal color is the color for all of our findings that we had, and then we had little pops of green in there with them. So I believe this is what I'm going to be using for my beaded chain necklace that I'm going to make for this week. And I mean, I have so many of these gunmetal findings. And then there was some gunmetal chain and some of these. And then we had these keys and a big howlite focal. I'm probably going to be combining these for a focal when I do this. And then we had just some glass, like this is 10mm bead, 12, I don't know. We had some 8mm beads, some English cut howlites. There were these teeny tiny crystals. There were these like metal beads with these cool bits on it. And I think I'm going to be using these. I'm going to be using a lot of the metals that came in this for my project. I'm going to be making some links that include these. We're going to be linking the links that I create, my beaded links, with these to make our chain. We might use the chain unless it's long enough without it, and it might be long enough without it because I think these are going to take up some space on here. As far as the beads that we use, I think I want to stick with the howlites. So we're probably going to be using these, and I'm just going to come up with, I'm going to try to figure out some links that I can make, and then I'll go make those links. And then when we come back, we can put it all together. But I'm going to be making the links probably tonight while I am doing some other things and putting it together tomorrow. Because sometimes that's just what we do with our things. So I think we're going to be using the howlite rounds. We're going to be using some of these howlite English cuts. We're probably going to use some of these small beads, and I think I do want to add some color in here with these, not the bigger ones. I want some of these smaller green pops just for like a little bit of a pop of color. So I think this is what we're going to be using for this necklace. And just to let you know, like, I'm having a lot of fun making these. I'm hoping that if you're making along with me, you're having some fun too. Metal Scrapping Chick channel, she's been doing a recap during the at the weekend. There's a little piece of, I guess that's one of the coconut bits that was stuck in there. She's been doing a recap on the weekends with the things that she's been making. Sorry, I dropped one of my rounds. And I'll put a link to that. She made a really pretty necklace last week, in spite of life being lifey. It's pretty great looking, in my opinion. But yeah, so I think we're gonna make with those. We've got some bead caps too that we can toss on if we need to. And I've got, because we've got the gunmetal as the color that we're using for this, I've got some gunmetal 20 gauge craft wire that I think that's gonna go pretty well with the metals that we've got on here. Let me get that out, and I'm just gonna pull off a little bit of this to start playing with some links to see how I want. I'm doing the design phase here with you guys, where we're figuring things out. Let me straighten this out a little bit. The end was mightily kinked there. I'm just bending it with my thumb one direction and then bending it with my finger the other direction, and that's helping to get those kinks out of it. You can do the same thing with some see, the kinks mostly worked out. I'm just going to cut off a section of this so we can see how it looks sort of as a link. And when I do this, I'm probably going to just do simple loops for these. Where's my round nose pliers? My round nose pliers have gotten away from me, it looks like. So going all the way around, rotating this down so it bends it back, and then just making sure that gets closed. All right, now let's see how we want to stack some of these. I think I might be doing these light green ones on a link with these metal beads. Just on their own. I think that would be a good link. Yeah, let's do that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because there are 5 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8. Okay, so that is that going to be enough? No, I need one more. I'm going to need one more. I'm just getting out everything that I need for that. All right, so I'm going to set these aside. That will be one type of link that we make. Actually, why don't I go ahead and finish up the link while I'm here on camera with you guys, so you can just see what it looks like all finished up, and then I can make the rest of them on my own. So simple loops. It's 20 gauge. I figured that's gonna do me. That way I don't have to get out some oh, you know, the things. Just gonna bend this up here at the top, so it's going sort of in the same direction as my loop down here. And then take my, actually bend, let's cut this first. Or maybe I'll take my loop first. I haven't decided. I'm gonna figure this out as I go. What's gonna work better for me? All right, now I can guesstimate where I need to cut this off at. And roll this closed the rest of the way. That makes a nice little link like that. the really, really, really light green accent. I like that. That's gonna look nice. All right, now for some of my other links. Do I want to use the bead caps in a link? Maybe. Will these look good on that? Let's get that wire that I had, or get a little more. See how this looks. I'm going to make another simple loop on the bottom of this one. Just wrapping it all the way around till it touches. And then I don't need to take it off of here to do this part. I just, while it's open, rotate this to just underneath there and give it a little squish, and it bends it back. That makes me a nice little loop. It's easy to, you get used to it if you practice it, making it multiple loops like that in a row. And it makes it a little bit faster. Let me see. Is that going to be pretty? Do I want bead caps on these? Do I have enough bead caps for all of these? Let's see how that looks. And I think these will be just individual links. They're not going to be like the long links like these. Just smaller bits of the stone. I kind of like this. But let's see if it looks better with the rounds. So one of these are going to be without bead caps, and one of them is going to be with bead caps. I'm trying to decide if I like it with or without the bead caps when I'm making this. Yeah, I think I like the rounds with the bead caps. And then this one will be without the bead cap. Let's make a little loop on this end. Bend it all the way around. And then without taking it off, we're going to rotate that down so that this other half is right below that loop. And just give it a little squish. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. I like it. I'm gonna, or do I want a longer link? I think I might want a longer link. Let me see. Because we have a lot more of these round halite beads than we do the English cut ones. So maybe. Okay, no, I like this. I'm going to be going with this. This is what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to have one link that's like this, and I'm going to have another link that's like this, and I'm going to link them together with this guy, and we're going to make a necklace with that. Yes, I like this plan. This is a good plan. I'm going to finish this link off, and then I'm going to go make the rest of the links that I need, and when I come back, we'll put this together. What do you guys think? All right. Bend that over. I can see about where I need to cut it. Cut it. Oop, I want it the flush side up. Cut it about, actually there. Yeah. This way. Yep. Yes. Let me just see how these look all connected together. I'm just swinging open that loop on that end. So I can put this guy in here. Closing it. And let's put this guy on the other side. And I have a ton of these links, so they can go in between my longer, chonky links. Yes, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. We're gonna decorate this with a little bit of the green too, I think. I will get that figured out. But that's gonna do me. I like this long link. I like the texture I've got on it. I like all of that. This is gonna work for me. All right, I'll get these built and mixed out and built out, and then we will meet back here and put this together for good. Okay, guys, I went ahead and made my links, and then I linked them together with the other ones. I made them all exactly the same way I showed you. I made 4 of each of these with the metal beads and these green ones. And then I made 4 with my 3 howlite beads, 2 rounds, 1 English cut, and my bead caps. This is a very like the filigree fancy, I like the texture and the different designs that we've got on this. So I've got my 2 lengths of my necklace. This is gonna be long enough for me. If you wanted it longer, you could do more links or add some of this chain that came in the box around the back to get more length. I prefer shorter necklaces. I have bazooms, and like there's a certain length where like anything that I make is gonna get lost in there. So shorter length necklaces work better for me. So I've got some extra beads that I'm going to be putting together to make my focal. So I think I want to start here with my howlite pendant and the key. And I think I actually like this side better for the front. And we're just gonna make a loop, and I'm gonna attach both of these at the same time with that loop and have that be the start of this pendant. Let me just pull off like a rather large section of wire, about 12 inches. Might be more than I need, might be less than I need. We're gonna find out. And I'm gonna about maybe 5 inches down from the end, I'm gonna make myself a loop using the largest section of my bail making pliers. I'm gonna bend it back first and then come around. That way it has that fun shape on it. All right, so now that that is round, I'm gonna want to slide this open a considerable amount, like this, to try and get my howlite pendant strung on there. Yes. Let's just slide this guy on down from the top, because that is how I want this to hang. That is perfect. That is exactly right. We're gonna give it a little more space. I'm not gonna close this up completely because I'd like for this key to have some swing. So right here, I'm gonna grip this with my pliers to keep it from closing up while I wrap this around. And I'm gonna do like 3 wraps. Oop. Where you going, buddy? Yeah. That's gonna be good. Remember, this is a 20 gauge wire that I'm using. So I feel like it's gonna stay where I put it for the most part. So this is a pretty heavy pendant. All right, and now I've still got all of that. I'm going to stack on my last metal bead because there were 5 of these in the box. And I'm going to plop my green bead, my metal bead, and my green bead. And this is going to bring the howlite and these sections together. We've got all of those. Come on, where's the hole though? All right, and for this one, I'm going to make a wrapped loop up here at the top instead of a simple loop, because we got a heavy thing hanging off of it. And this one's going to be a smaller wrapped loop. There we go. It's just there you go. Round to the back. And this is going to be my focal. And I'm going to grab one of these round howlite beads and just a couple of the bead caps to make my connection point between my focal and each leg of the necklace there. So I'm gonna want a connection point between these three pieces, and this is what we're gonna do that with. So for this, I would like another fairly large wrapped loop. Grab another piece of wire for that. I probably won't need as much as for the other one, but I'm going to be making 2 wrapped loops with this, so I'm going to want enough. So about 6.5 inches, something like that. That'll do it. And it's going to be, let's make this, well, I'm going to be cutting it off so it doesn't matter. Let's start with the larger wrapped loop, and I'm going to want the orientation for this to be round this way, and then the other loop to be oriented the other way. So for this, I think probably my 3rd step down is the one that I'm going to want for my loop. So I'm bending it back first, like that. And then I'm just going to bring it around to the front. You can adjust it if you want. And before I start wrapping it, I am going to attach both of these. You can sort them out later. Just grab that and do a little bit of wrapping. It's always a little bit harder with the shorter end because you don't have the leverage. Don't poke my finger. Don't poke your fingers, guys. It's not fun. All right, so now that we've got my top loop created, both of these connected, you know what? Actually, that's not going to work for me. I need some jump rings here. Yep. Because of the orientation of these links and the connectors, that's not going to work. All right, I am still going to need a wrapped loop, but I'm going to connect it to these later with some jump rings. And I have some, where am I? Here we go. I have some gunmetal colored jump rings here that I'm going to use for that. So let me pull those out. I'm going to need those for the closures anyway, so that's some 5mm jump rings that I'm using for those. So they're going to be connected there. I'm going to start over with my wrap loop. Just going to cut this off. And since I don't have to connect anything to it, hold on, I still want to make sure I have enough room. Is that going to be enough? Maybe. All the way around. I'm not going to have to connect things first, so I don't have to open and close it. That wrap is a little bit skewiffy, so I'm going to use my pliers and kind of straighten that out a little bit. Squeeze those down. Get that a little better looking. There you go. It's a little better looking. That's fine. Alright, so that's going to be the top, and let's get our bead on for connector. And this part I am going to connect to here before I wrap it. But first we're going to put on these ones. Yeah, sometimes you got to add jump rings because of the way that the links orient themselves with the other loops. And this one I want to be perpendicular. The loop on that perpendicular to the other, so that it will go over the top because I'm making a wrapped loop and I want to give it some room for wrapping. I'm going to use my lowest one, my smallest one. That gives me a good, bring it all the way around, adjust my loop. And I'm going to attach it to this. One good thing about this challenge is I am getting a ton of practice in making wrapped links and simple loop links, and it has been really good for working on my skills. That's going to be the wrong way around. That's fine. There we go. Now I can use the jump rings and we can attach it to that. Let's get these jump rings open. I'm just going to grab these. The crimpers are nice and flat on the end, so they're something that's easy to grab onto and will help me open and close my jump rings correctly. So you get a jump ring on there and a jump ring on there. And that'll just help the links lie correctly when it's on a neck instead of twisting around like that. And I could have just used jump rings to connect all of these, but I didn't feel like doing that. It's a lot more jump rings than I want to be using. All right, I'm just gonna see how she hangs. It's a very Y necklace. A very Y necklace. And now I've got here on the end, these were the closures that came in that box. It's a toggle clasp closure. So I'm going to grab this toggle and a jump ring and I'm going to attach it here to this end. You know what? Actually, I'm going to do a couple of jump rings because I'd like this toggle to have a bit more room for articulation. And we're just going to give it a little more distance from this link because it is a pretty big, hefty, chunky link. So I think two of those should be enough distance away from the toggle so it can articulate a bit better, because they work better when you can have them go in at an angle as opposed to straight across. And by go in at an angle, I mean go into the loop at an angle. Why am I not good at this? Hold on. Let me try opening this just a little bit wider. We can see if we can get, there we go. That's all I needed. There we go. Just needed my jump ring to be a little bit wider. That's right. Oh, why are you whining, Ellen? My dog likes to do things like lay just out of reach and then whine about it. She gets sad that I'm not petting her. So I actually wrote a song about it. I called it "Why Are You Whining, Ellen?" And you know, there's a list of reasons why she might be whining. She might be laying too far away. She might feel like she hasn't eaten enough today, even though she's had 2 meals and several treats. She might be sad that it got dark outside and now she can't look out the window. She might be sad that nobody's currently petting her and therefore nobody loves her. She might want somebody to go open a door for her so she can go outside and be outside for a minute and then knock on the door with her paw and stand out there wagging her tail waiting for somebody to go outside with her, even though I'm in a meeting and I can't go outside. Just because you want to go outside and play, you can still go outside, but I can't go with you sometimes. She might be sad that she likes to go under the bed and just hang out there. Sometimes she just loves being under. But sometimes she wants me to go under with her, and so she will go under and then whine because I can't fit under the bed with her. I actually wrote a song about that one too. It's called "I Can't Fit Under the Bed with You." But yeah, so my dog Ellen loves to whine, and that's who you can hear telling me that she's not happy about something. So let me finish this up, and then I can go figure out what Ellen is sad about right now. I love the way this link looks. All right, so let's get a wider view of this. There we go. Project number, I think this is 7. Project number 7 for my 2 beaded chain necklaces a month for the entire month of September. And I have used a bead box that I didn't create anything with this when I got it. This is the first thing that I've made out of this bead box. The very first thing. And this was, I think, the Modern Farmhouse one. I think that's what they called it, because there was like some sheep or something in it. But I love it. It is beautiful and gorgeous, and I think the big chunky links are necessary because of the big chunky focal that we have. I think if I had more delicate links, it might not balance out as well. It might just look a little overpowering down here on the bottom. So I'm in love with it. I'm loving it. If you guys are beading along with me, let me know how you're enjoying it. If you've been able to make some beaded chain necklaces too, what you're planning on making. I'm going to be doing another one this week. I haven't decided what I'm going to be using for it yet, though, so we will figure that out as I go. But yeah, this was, I can't even remember what month this was. Was it March? Was it April? I don't know. No, wait a minute. Was it last year? I can't remember what month this was for the Bargain Bead Box. If you guys remember, actually, I'll go look it up. I'll put it in the description. I'll put it in the description. And another thing that I'll put in the description is a link to Metal Scrapping Chick's video with her recap for the beaded chain necklace that she made last week, that she posted on Saturday. And I just really hope that you guys are having a great day. Thanks for spending part of your day with me, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye!